So in this example, because we have to substitute numbers in for letters, we're going to change all of our letters into parentheses. That's what we had been doing in class, and we're going to stick with that. So no longer will you write A, you'll write parentheses. You're copying everything else. No longer will you write B, you're going to write parentheses. Copy your plus, and then you need two sets of parentheses for B and C. Since they want us to put 5 in A's spot, I'm going to put 5 in this set of parentheses because that's where A is. Then we're going to put -2 everywhere there's a B. So we have one here and here. And then obviously the last number we plug in is C, which is 1. Now that we have everything plugged in correctly, it's time to begin. Now I do have parentheses, but there's no math to do in them. So I move on to exponents. And there's that -2 squared. It doesn't matter if it's 2 or -2. If it's squared, it's positive. And then we copy everything else. The next operation would be multiplication. So -2 times 1 is -2, and I copy everything else. I don't need my parentheses around the 5 because there's a minus separating it from the 4. So I went ahead and dropped those, and I'm just going to work now from left to right. 5 minus 4 will come first, and that makes 1. Copy everything else. 1 plus -2 is -1, and you're done. We're going to go ahead and do it again. So again, we're going to change all of our letters into empty parentheses. So we're kind of setting ourselves up here for plugging in. -3 has to go everywhere you see an A. 4 has to go in for B, and 2 has to go in for C. Now we're ready to begin. So again, I have parentheses, but there's no math to do in them. So I got to move on to exponents. So I'm going to circle my -3 to the second, and I'm going to know, oh, that's going to be positive, because if it's a 2, it's going to be positive. And I'm going to copy everything else. Now I did drop my parentheses around my -3 because I don't need them. I have the bars here instead, so I don't need both. I just need the bars. Working from the top, I'm going to do 2 times 9 next, and that's 18. And then I'm going to copy everything else. Then I have to do 4 times 2, and that's 8. And I copy everything else. We'll finish up the top here, 18 plus 8. And on the bottom, I'll go ahead and circle the bars now so I can be done a little quicker. 18 plus 8 is 26. And the distance from 0 to -3 is 3. I have to copy my +1. So my new bottom is 4. 26 divided by 4 is the same thing as 13 over 2. So you can cut both of these numbers in half, and that's called reducing. So my final answer is 13 over 2. We have one more example to go through, and then that's it. We're done. So we'll try it one more time, changing all our letters into parentheses and copying everything else exactly as it is. We're going to plug 6 in for A. So we have an A here and here. We're going to plug 1 in for B, which is on the end. And -5 is going to go in C spot. So in the bars and also by little squared. Once again, we have nothing in the parentheses to do. There's no math to do in them, so we move on to exponents. Now I did go ahead and get rid of the parentheses around this -5 because, again, I have bars here, so I don't technically need parentheses as well. I'm also going to get rid of them around the 6 because the 6 is separated from the -5 with the bars, so I don't need the parentheses around that. So we're definitely going to tackle the exponents, but we can also take care of our bars as well. So we'll try to do 2 steps in one this time. The distance from -5 to 0 is 5. Whether it's -5 or +5, if it's squared, it's +25. And then all this other stuff I need to copy. All that's left is multiplication, division, and subtraction. So multiplication is closest to the left. So we're going to do 6 times 5 first. Again, I had to create parentheses around this 5 because otherwise there would have been nothing separating it from the 6. So that will get me 30, and then I copy everything else. It's very tempting to do 30 minus 25, but that's not what comes next in order of operations. You have to do 25 divided by 5 first. So notice again, I did not circle this minus sign. I already circled an operator, so that's the only one that can be in there. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and I copy everything else. The next thing that would come in order would be 5 times 6, not -5. That is a minus sign. So it's just 5 times 6, which is 30. And copy. Then we have to do regular 30 times 1 and get 30. And then copy the 30 and the minus. And of course, 30 minus 30 is 0. So all that work to get an answer of 0.